right, are we live?
We are live.
Okay, looks like we're live. So, all right, everybody. Some beliefs are going to be challenged tonight. Welcome to Let's Talk, the call-in show where ideas get challenged, assumptions get tested, and no belief goes unexplored. This is a space for people who are questioning, people who are leaving religion, and especially for those who believe. So if your beliefs are defensible, then call in. Calling from the US, you can dial 948-400-5656. And if you're calling from outside the US, well, you can click the link on the screen right now. So whether you're here to agree, disagree, or just listen closely, you're at the right place. Skeptic Haven starts right now.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
Oh, right. I mean, there's like 20 seconds of me just staring there. I didn't realize I saw the timer on the top there, live recording, 20 seconds, but it's all good. We got it. We got through it, didn't we? Well, all right.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. If you've just showed up and if you didn't see the thumbnail, I'm your host tonight, Justin, and with me right over here, the one and only GE, the Godless engineer. How are you tonight, John?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I had my son this weekend, so I just got back from taking him back to his mom's house, and now I'm hanging out with you, with all of you fine people. So I'm interested. I'm hoping that we get a call or two tonight. That would be awesome. If anybody wants to call in to challenge us, that would be great. I've been sharing out both the link and the phone number for people to call in. So I'm hoping that somebody, manages to muster up enough courage to come in.
Yeah, me too. I've been on Skeptic Haven a bunch of times now, and it's always a pleasure. And it's extra exciting when we get calls from people who, they believe certain things, and I like to explore those beliefs. And I like to challenge them quite a bit as well. Over in the U.S., you guys just had a Thanksgiving holiday just go by. How did that go? Did you have a good time for Thanksgiving? You still eating turkey?
Yeah. Actually, so every year, Casey, she makes me a giant turkey leg. And so I get a turkey leg, and of course, I've got a small stomach now, so I can only eat a little bit on Thanksgiving, and so we generally have like a lot of leftovers and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you do the turkey sandwiches and things like that for the whole week with a little bit of gravy on there.
Yeah, actually, so Casey actually tried this new thing where she made sandwiches out of the bread that we used, like the table bread, and
Right.
but she made sandwiches with like all of the fixings on it, and along with the cranberry sauce, and it was good.
Amazing. Yeah, so the holiday seasons are in full swing, right? We're in the month of December. I think everybody's looking forward to some time off. How do you celebrate the holidays, John?
I pretty much just sort of chill out at home. Of course I have my son, and we try to do our best to celebrate with him, but he's very particular about like Christmas and celebrating holidays and stuff like that. So we have to be a bit, we have to be careful about how we kind of celebrate that with him. But other than that, we do, we just pretty much chill at home, and I do my Godless thing, on the net, and that's pretty much it. I'm really boring.
You're boring, so you don't do decorations or anything like that?
Oh, well, so we got a tree. There's a tree that's lit up right over here. We got a tree upstairs and we got a tree downstairs, and we decorate those. Whenever we go on trips, which we go on trips a good bit, we end up getting Christmas tree ornaments. That's one thing that we do. We get them for every place that we go to, and so we just pile our tree with like all of our trip memories and everything like that. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds great. Sounds great. It doesn't get too hot or too cold where you are, though, does it?
So that's depends on what you mean. From an outside perspective, no, it's not too cold here. I think that this past week it got down to like 40 something maybe. Fahrenheit, which is American, by the way, for anybody that's not working off of American units, freedom units. So I mean, down here it can get cold on occasion, but like as far as me, relatively, like it's already freezing. Like I forgot to get a decent jacket, and so to come on the show with, so I'm actually a little chilly up here right now, but you know it's not too bad. We got the heat on.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had snow now for a little while up here, and it's not a holiday season for me if there isn't snow on the ground, but it's -4 C in Canadian units right now.
But, yeah, -4 Canadian. I got you.
Yeah. Well, if anyone's in the chat, we got people pulling into the chat. So the number is there on screen for you to call. Give us a call. 984-400-5656, or you can just click the link in the description if you're calling from outside of the U.S. John and I would love to hear who your God is, where he comes from, and what the heck does he want, because it's always a fun conversation. Yeah, so hold on a sec. Okay. So John, what have you been up to lately over there?
Well, so I kind of I wanted to start doing sort of a Christian nationalism sort of debunk series, and the first video did not do well on the channel. Okay. I don't even think it has 1,000 views yet. Oh, wow. And so yeah, so I don't know if I should continue doing it because it takes a lot to like edit those up now.
Is it like specific Christian nationalist ideas or Christian nationalist people specifically?
Well, yeah. So I had a debate with a guy named Rob Noer, and he was arguing for Christian nationalism. And so what I thought I'd do is I'd go through his opening and I'd take it. I'd do a takedown of it. And so yeah, and so I did the first one, which was like less than 10 minutes long. But the second one I think I'm on page 8 of my response, scripting it up. Yeah, it's a lot. So that's why I'm a little skeptical of whether or not I should continue to do it. I mean, there's a lot of great information in it. It's just it seems like people don't like Christian nationalism, but yet they don't want to learn about like why they're just like, yeah, that's wrong, and then they don't care to actually know about like why it's wrong or what their position is so that they can effectively counter it. Like at least the people that are subscribed to me, they don't seem to want to necessarily know that, I guess.
Yeah, for me, some of the more like down and dirty Christian nationalists are the televangelists themselves. I feel like they're the biggest grifters out there, almost literally taking advantage of people and their beliefs. And I'm not even convinced that they 100% believe either. They just want to keep that money rolling in. Like, if there was no money in it, they wouldn't be doing it. Bottom line. Yeah, well, and I mean, I think that a lot of it is like the logic of, well, you know, first we get power, right, and then from there, you can move into more of the grifty, like directly benefiting, you know, from it. So, but as far as the Christian nationalist stuff goes, in the first video that I did, it was basically Rob's attempt to define what he means by Christian nationalism, and I found that it was particularly incoherent because he's like, Christian nationalism is the best way forward for the United States, but I also don't want to talk about any theological interpretation of Christianity. He just wanted to say that Christian nationalism was the best way to go, and that the government could be filled with various forms of Christianity, and they would all be able to get along. And it's like, I don't think that is exactly how that would work. Like, for one thing, there's no way that you can implement Christian nationalism without engaging in theological interpretation, which is what he was wanting to stay away from. And
particularly incoherent to sit there and be like, well, the 10 commandments are, I guess a general thing that I guess to his eyes would not require any kind of theological interpretation, but it obviously does. And I mean, when we got into the actual discussion of it, we brought up, or the 10 commandments were brought up, and I was like, what about the first 3? They're in direct violation of the First Amendment. And he's like, well, no, they're not, but I'm not talking about those. So I mean, he's already, like, immediately he's having to toss out certain parts of the 10 commandments so that they're not, like, made part of the law. And that immediately has to you have to interpret, or you have to take that as like a theological interpretation of the 10 commandments. And so it seemed really dumb in my perception of it. I know there was one thing that he said that was just a complete lie, and I don't know if he was making up the lie or if he had just heard the lie and he's regurgitating it. So I'm not going to go too far about any kind of accusations in that area. But he was like, the founding fathers constructed America for white Europeans. and I was just sitting there like, no, that's not true. Another thing that he said was that the founding fathers did not want a Muslim to get elected to office, essentially. And I actually, when I did research on that specifically, I found that no, there was plenty of discussion on that possibility, and they made the conscious effort. Like, there were 2 different, there were the Federalists and the Anti-Federalists or whatnot. Right. And one side was like, no, we've got to put in religious tests so that a Muslim can't come in and be elected to, like, either the presidency or any kind of elected office. And I believe it was the Federalists were like, no, we're not going to outlaw that. There's no religious tests whatsoever. And obviously, the no religious tests side won out. And so it was very obvious that the founding fathers did have that in mind. And to say that they had something else completely different in mind is just fabrication.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Like the 10 Commandments thing alone, that's a news headline I'm fairly familiar with, and I see pop up all the time. This putting those 10 commandments up in all the classrooms, for example. Mm-hmm. It's like, not only are those commandments, mostly useless, it really does leave out anyone or any student that's in that classroom that doesn't subscribe to that religion. It's kind of like, well, where are some of the our favorite passages and things of that sort? The Christians can't even agree on whether or not it's thou shalt not kill or thou shalt not murder. So until they can get that stuff straightened out.
Yeah, I know. And I mean, I feel like it's really easy because you just got to go back to the Hebrew, look at what the Hebrew says, and all that. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say that interpreting the Hebrew is easy or straightforward sometimes, but I definitely feel like that particular thing is something that maybe we've nipped in the bud. I'm not sure. Because I know people mistakenly say that it's thou shalt not kill when it's actually thou shalt not murder. And which is how, I guess God can get around it later when he orders the Israelites to kill people.
Right. Well, I don't know if you heard here in the Great White North here, the province of Quebec is passing a secular law. Have you heard this?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they've always been kind of pushing this secularism idea, but now, I don't know, I'm a little concerned they're overstepping a little bit too far the other way. So, for example, in colleges and universities in the province of Quebec, they would provide private rooms for anyone who wanted someplace to go pray. So for like, if a Muslim needed a space to pray, there was a room for you. Go ahead. They want to take those rooms away. They want to make like public prayer in general just kind of like outlawed, taking away the right for anyone to wear a hijab, of which I'm just like, I understand the complications of it, but like, if they want to wear one, I don't see the problem with it.
Yeah. I definitely would side on the freedom of religion. Like I obviously
Yeah.
don't like religion. I think it's harmful. But at the same time, like my goal is to educate people past the need for religion, so that religion is just not needed anymore. So I definitely don't agree with forcing religion out of life in general, like as a matter of like I guess governance. I definitely believe in the freedom of religion. I think that people should feel free to worship whatever deity they want to, as long as it doesn't harm themselves or other people around them.
Agreed.
All that kind of good stuff. So yeah, I definitely would disagree with that. And that's where I think a lot of Christians, they get, they're mistaken about atheists, because they take atheists as being anti-theist, but like, and I would consider myself anti-theist, but anti-theist in the way that we want to eradicate religion is like a forceful measure. And so I would disagree with those atheists that would be like, oh, I'm an anti-theist and I want to kill religion. It's like, don't be
Right.
fucking dumb about that.
Yeah, like
And
people should have the right to believe what they want to believe, as long as the belief stays theirs and they're not trying to like make it a law or force anyone else to do so. And same goes for the secular side, right? You shouldn't be forcing people to stop believing. It's more just like, you've got your churches, you've got your own homes, go do it there. And I'm actually not even against the idea of, a private institution like a college or a university putting aside a room for someone to go privately pray, or even pray in a group, because their religion, that's what they do, right?
right.
And in Canada, you're not going outside to do it. Like, you're just 6 months of the year, it's just not an outdoor thing to do. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not totally on board with what's going on there with that. They already they banned a Christian rock guy last summer as well from performing. I forget his name right now, but it got a lot of headlines here, where now other provinces were like, well, you can come and play here, like Alberta, just to name another province. But, yeah, it's crazy. But
well,
Howard,
you've got, I was gonna say, you've got the overreaching on secularism in your area, but down here we're trying to fight to keep the 10 Commandments out of public spaces like schools and everything like that. But also now, I don't know if you know this, Justin, but now you can use Jesus for everything in school. Like, if
that's
you're
right.
given
That
a
story
psychology, if you're given a psychology paper to write, you can just be like, you know what? God says women help men, and that's it. And also only to gender.
Yeah, that story is fantastic. So if anybody doesn't know, Friendly Atheist, another friend of ours, he did a video on it, and it's not old. It's not like quiet news. It's all over the place. It's on late night TV. Like, everybody's talking about it. But just in case anyone in our chat is not aware, this young lady, a student, I forget her name at the moment, but it doesn't matter. The they were presented, if I'm understanding correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, John, but the class was presented with an article about transgender people, and they had to write an article back in response to the article. And this particular student, rather than engaging with the article at all, just went to her Bible and started quoting that God said this and God did that. He created only two genders and all these things. I believe the instructor was also a trans person, or the assistant was, or something.
Yeah. So what I know of it is that the original paper or article that was being written was more scientifically discussing like gender and the spectrum of gender and everything, which falls into the transgender category, obviously. And then she did in the paper, from what I saw of it, she did interact with the paper, but it was very surface level kind of interaction. Like, she casually mentions like, oh, the paper, claims this, that, or the other, instead of like she didn't actually use quotes from it. She just kind of summarized like what she thought the paper was saying or something. And then she
Right.
just, continued on with what the Bible says about everything. And so, yeah, it was really ridiculous.
Yeah, so she got a failing mark, and now I believe the instructor was suspended with pay or something for now while they investigate. Um, I saw somebody, I forget who it was. It might have been the Friendly Atheist, now that I think about it, who went over. Yeah, it was the Friendly Atheist. He goes over the paper, and even the comment from the instructor and why the paper became a failing paper. So
I believe Forrest Valkai also did a review of the paper.
I did see that. I didn't get a chance to review that video yet, but yeah, it's I don't know. I wanted to say it was fascinating, but it's really not. It's kind of scary because I believe the instructor was completely on the ball there. Like, it was a failed paper, and I don't think it had much to do with even commenting on or using the Bible or God as a reference for anything. I think there was an avenue where she could have done that, but not in the way she wrote it. That's for sure. Yeah, what else is going on in the news over there?
Normally I'm on top of the news, but like this usually on the weekends I'm not so up to date on like news stuff happening because
Right.
I usually either get involved with doing editing all my stuff up for the next week and getting that ready, or spending time with wife and Xander. Let's see. I know. Oh, Donald Trump did a pardon of a guy.
The
The Democrat guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was a Democrat that got brought up on corruption corruption charges or something like that. And there's that. Which I'm realizing maybe here on the Skeptic Haven we shouldn't probably directly mention names. But in any case, but yeah, let's see. There's that. I'll be having a Dr. Richard Carrier on my show here soon, responding to Dr. Ehrman and Tim O'Neill. They're going to be, or they have already had a stream where they kind of again respond to Carrier and his mythicism position. And so I'm going to have him on to have a discussion with him about that.
Sweet. Yeah. I've been going full bore forward with my reading from right to left myself over on my side of things. I've got another
How's it
video
coming
out. Pretty good. I just recorded with Arn Ra. Well, he listened to a book that I read about free speech. So if anyone's interested in that, keep an eye out for that. That probably won't be out for the new year, but I do have one coming out very, very soon. I found an editor, so now I've got somebody taking care of the post-production for me. But the video that you and I recorded together for that, for me, went huge. Like, it was a lot of views for my channel and a lot of comments, and it was a lot of fun. I can't get over some of the contents of these books. Like, here, I just picked up this one. You want to see, John? It's from our friend Ken Ham.
Oh,
Flood of Evidence. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
40 reasons Noah and the Ark still matter. So I'm planning to like put together some like panels and just go through like chapter at a time kind of thing. Just there's 40 chapters and there's 40 reasons why the Ark and Noah still matter. And I think that'll be fun. So far, I've thumbed through the first couple pages. You know what I found really fascinating and interesting right off the bat is they have like they cite their references for the stuff in the book, and their references are Ken Ham. So he cites himself as the reference
Cites himself.
for like literally at the bottom of the book here. There's the little references, like the small print. I know you guys can't see it, but it literally is like the references are Ken Ham and Buddy Hodge, which are the two people on the cover of the book, and they're citing themselves as a reference. Fascinating. And actually, the first chapter is about him and his debate with Bill Nye, which should be interesting. But yeah. Hey guys, we got a few viewers out there now, so if anyone out there wants to call in and talk about anything, John and I are here. We're waiting for your call. The number is there on the screen: 984-400-5656. Yeah, atheists can call in too. You can let us know what you think about any of these topics we're bringing up. Get your opinions in. I have an opinion right now I'd like to share. I love John's hat.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah. Now, what do you call that hat? What kind of hat is that?
It's a beanie.
No, god damn it. It's a toque.
A toque? That's the first time I've heard
that. You've never heard of toque?
I've never heard of toque. Toboggan?
I'm gonna go elbows up on you.
What?
What's that?
I've heard of toboggan. I've heard it called toboggan, but I don't know it as a toboggan.
You don't know what a toboggan is?
No. I don't use toboggan. I never heard of it. Like it's always been a beanie to me, but I've heard of it referred to as a toboggan.
Who has called it a toboggan? That's not what a toboggan is.
What do you call a toboggan? Is it
a toboggan is like a sled?
Yeah, I mean that's what I always knew a toboggan as, and then somebody said that these are called toboggans. So
I have never had anybody call their toque a toboggan.
I'm sorry, Justin. I just can't get on board with toque.
Why not? It has a Q. The letter Q needs more love in the world. Oh man, yeah, I'm a bit of a video game freak myself sometimes too. Have you seen this Jesus Christ Simulator game?
Jesus Christ Simulator game.
Yeah, the game is called I Am Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I played it on my channel when
did you?
When the Prelude or whatever came out, like the little preview that the demo that you could play. Yeah, I played that. Oh, did you? Yeah,
it's a much better looking game than it deserves to be. That's for sure. Like, it's well assembled. They take some creative liberties, and I think they missed some opportunities. But there was the section of the game where you got to go through the desert for 40 days and 40 nights or whatever. I was looking forward to some fun moments in there, but it was just fast forwarded and it was over. But, yeah.
I remember getting to a part right before the game crashed on me. But it was you had to go and fight Satan in hell or something. And you had
that wasn't in my version.
Oh really? You had rays that came out of your hands, and there was no clear guidance on how to fucking control these rays and stuff that you were supposed to fight Satan with in hell. And I don't know if they've done an update to it, but
that sounds like the completely different game than what I played. The game I played, you start off looking for your mom, and you find Mary at a wedding, and she's like, "Oh, I'm glad you're here because they have no wine." And you got to turn all the water into wine and use your miracle powers to turn the water into wine. But what you played sounds way more exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I played it for a few hours, and I've got a few other religious games that I guess I could play on my channel.
It's got to be two different games we're talking about then, because the demo version that I played was only not even an hour long. I played it twice in one stream.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, back to back. I just played it again.
Now, I know it was called I Am Jesus Christ, and it was built with Unreal Engine 4 or 5 or something like that. So
it's still it's not even out yet technically.
No, it's been let's see. Yeah, there's an I Am Jesus Christ demo.
You know what's
Yeah,
interesting?
yeah.
What's
I
interesting
did play
about
this
it
one.
is I looked into the developer or the publisher of the game,
Mhm.
and they're not even like, it's not a religious fundamental group or anything. They're just a standard game developing team
Oh,
that
really?
is clearly just trying to get like that Christian cash grab.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it says that it's going to be available Q1 of 2026, but I've been seeing this up for like 2 years.
Yeah, me too. Yep.
It's yeah, they're saying planned release this Q1 2026, so I don't know. Their last update was from 2025, just saying. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see. I guess it's. I mean, there's been religious video games since forever. Like I remember playing a Noah's Ark game where you had to go around and collect, like actually pick up the animals and throw them on the ark.
Oh,
But
really?
but there was no like picking two of everything. It was literally just you could pick up like 3 or 4, and it didn't matter. But you had to watch out for the serpents. The serpents would kill you, which was weird. You would think they need to get on the ark too, but apparently not these serpents, not the snakes. But and then we've all heard of and played Noah's Ark 3D, right?
Yeah, is that the one that's kind of like it's like a Doom type?
Yeah, it's a straight just skin swap for Doom. It's super funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. So anyone out there want to call in, or should John and I just continue to dazzle you guys with the things we do?
Yeah, the number. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
I was just gonna say the number's 984-400-5656 if y'all want to call in. Or hey, if you've got like any friend groups that contain like religious people, tell them that there's a couple atheists that are looking to talk to them, and give them the number.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been listening to you and a lot of other people's work all day, and I've been listening to one in particular caller that was, oh, what was it now? Crap, I forgot.
Hi,
now.
honey.
But anyways, hi, Casey. No, Kate and Chloe. Hi. Anyways, I was going to ask John, did you take any crazy debates or have any weird discussions? I mean, you're always posting on Facebook all the time with some terrible, terrible people, but is there anyone in particular that deserves an extra little beatdown or shout out we can discuss? I mean, some pretty hateful people you seem to interact with sometimes. Probably don't even want to bring them up, to be fair, but
yeah, well, so I mean, I don't know. Anybody that I've debated, I've not really had too many issues with. There have been a few that I've had issues with, and that I just have sworn off ever like doing a debate against them again, just because of how bad faith they are. Like whenever they go into these conversations, like there's this one, it's like art by Jim Bob or cartoons by Jim Bob. I don't know what his name is. Yeah, I won't debate him again. He's a total, misogynist, transphobe, homophobe, just all around like shitty person. And I typically try not to engage with those types because I don't want to give them any kind of platform, and so I try not to.
Yeah, I was slumming it on the Facebook too, trying to I don't know, I guess hone my craft or whatever, just going on creationist groups on Facebook and things and engaging in the discussions. And there was one person in particular where the discussion was going back and forth pretty good, I felt, until they tried to defend slavery and make it like, no, it was fine. That was a good thing back then. And I had to disengage. I had to be like, sorry, bud, but I don't care what Facebook group this is or what my motivation is for being here. This is an avenue I don't even want to go down, and I not only like stopped talking to them, I deleted every post I had made up to that point on that group. I was just like, see ya, or on that particular post of the group, anyways.
Yeah.
But then,
sorry.
go ahead.
My camera's got an issue. I'm working on fixing it right now.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Another person that I was engaging with is an interesting little headline. It started out with, they showed a picture of a broken piece of pottery, and they were talking about how it says Goliath on it, which proved just this pottery that apparently the word Goliath was written on this ancient pottery from like 990 CE or whatever it is now. They're like, this proves that David and Goliath was a real thing, and all that. And I'm just like, no, all it proves is that there's a piece of pottery with the name Goliath on it. Like, that's literally all that proves. But at the same time, if you take 2 seconds and you take the picture that they presented and you look at it yourself, and you can go on the Wikipedia and you can get the translation alphabet and stuff, and then you can figure out what the words are. It doesn't say Goliath. In fact, it's like 2 separate names altogether. And the best they could argue back with was nuh-uh. It was like, really? These things were dated 90 years after the supposed story of Goliath in the first place, which is like, okay, so he was a giant and immortal, or like lived really long time. You ever had anybody come at you with artifacts trying to debunk stuff? Or,
I mean, I think that the archaeological like artifacts and everything like that people constantly are bringing up are some of the worst arguments for either the Bible, the biblical God, or Jesus, because all of the artifacts can be traced back to this one point in time in the Middle Ages, or medieval ages, whatever. And so a lot of people think that it's like physical proof of it, but they don't care to think like deeper about, well, how do we know that this is the thing? How do we know that this is actually Jesus, part of Jesus's cross? What's to differentiate this piece of wood from any other piece of wood out there, other than somebody just claims that it was part of the true cross? And I get the feeling that a lot of people don't really understand how to critically think in these particular situations. And so I know when I get on TikTok or whatever, I'm on a show or something like that, I usually start out, as long as the caller's not like ridiculous from the get-go, I start out and I'm like trying to help them critically think. And it's like, okay, can you tell me what differentiates this piece of wood from any other piece of wood? How do we know that this is part of the true cross? And they can never give me a good answer, because there is no good answer. I mean, they literally, somebody was probably walking through the woods, found a piece of wood or something like that, and then just said, oh, this is a piece of true cross. And it's like, you wouldn't be able to actually give me any kind of evidence that would disprove that that's what happened. And typically people either stay in denial about it, or they just sort of stick to their preconceived notion instead of actually providing any kind of real answer for what I've said. I was in a conversation with someone a while ago over on TikTok where they were trying to argue with me about the James passage in Josephus and how that apparently proves that Jesus existed. And so I gave him multiple lines of evidence through that was like textual criticism that it's been analyzed like in the scholarship, and nobody's been able to actually rebut these points. And so like I told him, like, well, that section looks like a marginal note. This is common in these whenever the scribes were like copying things down. So I mean, it looks like that. We have this weird structure to the story about it, and like this other Jesus comes out of nowhere and everything. So like all these inconsistencies, direct evidence about how it doesn't make sense the way that it's written. And he's like, well, I'm gonna stick with what I've already looked up and I already know about this. So you're just wrong about it. They jump from, I personally don't want to look any deeper into this, or I personally disagree with you about this. I'm going to stick with what these very conservative, like leaning, dogmatic Christians think about it. Which I mean, the person in general that I'm talking to is like they believe in a magical Jesus, right? So it really doesn't surprise me that they're like, yeah, I know, but magic, I ain't gonna explain shit, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's weird. I've also personally believed that, like, if there was archaeological, or rather, if you take into account the life that Jesus supposedly had, and that all the things that this individual was said to have done, the evidence should be like piled up. Like, there should be so much of it that we're not just talking about these 8 different scraps between like a splinter of wood or the shroud of Turin. Like, if this is all you've got from this person who supposedly, created fish out of thin air and turned water into wine and resurrected, you would think there would be so much more archaeological evidence, third-party evidence, contemporary evidence, which to me is the biggest of them all. Like, there's just nothing from the actual time itself.
No, and I mean, yeah, nothing written, nothing archaeological. Like, there's just nothing there. I mean, if you look at when Jesus is first written about, at least the information that we know about this Jesus, he's first written as a revelatory being that is a dying and rising God that's been highly mythologized. It always amazes me that people want to immediately put this Jesus in a reference class that's like every other historical figure. But like every other historical figure gradually becomes legendary, right? Like they gradually become mythologized. Whereas Jesus right out the gate is so highly mythologized that even on the most conservative view of the information we have about Jesus, he's he ranks pretty high on that rank Raglan hero type, classical hero type. And all of those figures, well, not all of them, a good majority of those figures actually never existed. And then there was, the mystery cults, all of their savior figures, they never existed. So it always amazes me that people are, for a figure, like whether or not he was historical, for a figure that starts out so highly mythologized, I don't know why anybody would expect to have any kind of like real historical evidence about him.
Yeah, it's if Jesus existed today, doing the things that he did back then, which would still be amazing, right? We'd probably be even maybe a little bit more skeptical because of CG and magicians do the kind of thing all the time, but he would be trending on every social media. He'd be translated to like every language. He'd be booked up solid for appearances all around the world constantly. Meanwhile, this Jesus character from 2,000 years ago, no one apparently kept a record or a diary entry or painted a painting or anything. Like, it's shocking to me. And I recently engaged with somebody on Facebook too about the topic of who wrote Genesis, and then someone answered Moses. And then I went right into of all the biblical characters, we can almost prove there was no Moses based on the lack of evidence, right? The right. Exodus story is completely one of those few moments or few times, I would say, I guess, that the lack of evidence in this case is evidence against it, is it not?
Sorry, I was typing something. Can you repeat that?
I'm just saying that, like, the argument for Moses and the Exodus, there's such a lack of evidence. There's so little evidence. In fact, no evidence at all. Doesn't that become good enough to prove that Moses never existed?
Well, so that's the thing with history is you don't really prove things like especially in the same way that you can prove them now, with history, you're wanting to prove like what's more likely than not. And so for Moses, as far as I understand the evidence of it, Moses doesn't have like any real grounding information, and all of the stuff that we do have was like either written or redacted by much later authors and everything. So it's more about, well, there's nothing that actually establishes he did exist. So considering that he's supposedly this somewhat magical founder of the religion, more than likely he did not exist unless we can find some kind of corroborating information about it. So like King David, we have some corroborating information that shows that King David actually was a king. And so with all that, it's more about the fact that, you don't start off assuming historicity. You start off from a more agnostic position, and then you look for evidence to confirm one way or another. And so like you could either come out at still agnostic or on either side of that fence. And I think that with all of the evidence against Moses, I think that it definitely nudges it onto the side of more than likely he didn't exist kind of side. And I think that the likelihood of him actually existing in some kind of form is very low, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been a long, like that portion of biblical studies has been developing for a while, like ever since the early 20th century has it been developing. And the people that did all of the pioneering work in that particular area of the Bible, they like, I'm trying to think of his name. He did his like doctoral thesis on the ahistoricity of the patriarchs, and he was able to attain his doctorate, but then he got blacklisted from the community altogether, and like he couldn't even use his degree. I mean, I think he got a one position that he held for I think maybe a year, but he had to leave that position, and he ended up, like, after going through all of that, going through college and everything like that, he ended up just like being a substitute teacher and painting houses like for the rest of his life, because he just simply couldn't get work as a like biblical historian or professor or anything like that, due to all of the negative, I guess, I want to say negative press, but like all of the negative information that was put out there about him, he just could not actually use his degree to support himself. So
that's unfortunate. Well, we got a caller. What do you say, John? Are you ready? You warmed up?
I'm good.
So we've got who I assume their name is Nubs from Minnesota, wants to talk about his view of the Christian God, that he's a God of unforgiveness. Hey, Nubs, is that how you want me to say your name, Nubs? Or Noobs?
It's yes, sir. That's it. It's an acronym for not under any bullshit.
Okay.
It's right. Also, I cut my fingertip off, and so it has a dual meaning. Kind of like a forgiving God and an unforgiving God.
All right. Well, welcome to the show, and why don't you tell us about your God of unforgiveness?
Well, it's not my God of unforgiveness. It's the God of the Bible. But let me ask you. You guys seem to be pretty intelligent when it comes to the fundamentals of the Christian Bible, and forgiveness is a key fundamental of the Christian Bible, correct?
I would think so. As far as Jesus goes, I mean, Jesus says that you can do anything and get forgiven as long as you don't blaspheme God. As long as you don't do that, you should be fine.
I was raised Catholic. Literally, all I had to do was tell my priest my sins, and I was forgiven.
Fair enough. You guys kind of got a little bit different of a system. I grew up Baptist, and I was indoctrinated into the cult and everything. And we were always taught that unforgiveness was just one of those sins, kind of like blaspheming. We do it because Jesus does it. Well, the problem with that is if you really think about it, the God of the Bible sent Jesus. And if you don't accept Jesus, he is going to be unforgiving and cast you into the lake of fire for the rest of your existence.
Right.
Oh, it kind of defeats the argument that says he is a forgiving, loving God, because a forgiving, loving God would always be that. It would not take circumstance to change or sway his opinion, because he is everlasting and ever steadfast, according to what they all say. So in essence, their God is in himself, like he defines himself in the Old Testament, as a jealous God and one that creates both good and evil for his glory. That's an ego God, not something I would ever serve.
Yeah, I
agree.
find a hard time disagreeing. Yeah, you know, it's a really strange story. Like, if you spend even 2 minutes just thinking about it, none of it tracks or makes any sense. It's gaslighting, isn't it?
Well, it's just like the first-hand account testimonies that Christians always go to. They go to either Tacitus, Pliny, or
500
Josephus.
witnesses.
The problem with what's that?
And the 500 witnesses as well. You know, I hear people tell
Right. The 500 unnamed, undocumented witnesses in their specific book. That's not in all of the same book. So, is it 500? Is it none? Depends on the writer. But you go to those witnesses, Pliny, Josephus, and Tacitus, and then you look at when they were born, and then you look at when the alleged time of their Jesus was, and they're not even firsthand. They weren't even alive.
That's right.
Which makes them not first-hand account testimony and or hearsay. Even if it's good hearsay, it's still not admissible in any form of court, much less proving the creator of the universe.
Yeah, John is way up
and then
on
you have the
this
Bible
exact topic. I just wanted to add something else too. Something else that I recently discovered that may be true, may not be true, but I'll put it out there because then John will set me straight. But I also heard that Josephus's texts were changed by the Catholic Church to include the name Jesus, where originally all Josephus was writing about was that this Christianity religion was just getting popular, and that's really all Josephus wrote about.
No.
Yep.
No, that's not accurate.
Okay.
So the only version of the Testimonium Flavianum that exists is the one that's currently in Josephus, which is the one with the very highly Christianized part. And so considering that there is a Syriac and Arabic version, but those have been traced to be using Eusebius's version. So the original version, at least the version that we have extant, is the one with Jesus's name and all the highly Christianized stuff in it. The second passage, the James passage, is most likely accidentally interpolated, and it most likely referenced Jesus as being related to James in a Ben Damnius sort of fashion, because Jesus Ben Damnius is later put into the high priesthood where Ananas was, and that was a sort of like retribution for killing James, Jesus's brother, in that situation. But it's Jesus Ben Damnius there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, I
definitely see where you're coming from. You're probably way smarter than I am, so I'm not going to give an argument. Like, honestly,
it's not a question of smart. It's not a question of smart. John's been doing this a lot longer than both of us. That's all it is. Not to say that John's smart.
So I mean, there are people that say that it was interpolated in the fashion that you guys are talking about, but there's just like to say that there was a non-interpolated form that had all of the very Christianized things taken out. To me, that's inventing information, because we don't actually have that anywhere. It's not extant, and it's not referenced in any kind of fashion anywhere that would indicate that it was anything but what is there today. So to me, it seems like
You know
it
what?
was originally very highly Christianized.
Thank you for that correction, because the reality on that is I'm doing that. That's the same thing, and I know better than the Christian. And it's not about being as in like a pissing match. It has to do with the standard of excellency that I'm stepping away from that, and that's so. Thank you for that. Like, we can't push a narrative that is not true if we are saying that we're fighting a narrative that is not true. It kind of defeats our own purpose, kind of like what I came up to say.
No, yeah, I totally agree.
So I do thank you for the correction. I do got to run. I've got much more important things than thinking about Christians or speaking of them. So I will catch you guys on the flip. I appreciate your work. Keep up the great work. This world is going to be a better place when people realize the Abrahamic religions come from the lie of Abraham stealing, or excuse me, the not Abraham, but Jacob stealing the blessing from his brother and lying to his father. That's where everybody claims that they're from. So I would say that's a lie and a theft, and it's ridiculous.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Appreciate it very much, Nubs. And drive safe there in the weather.
Oh, yeah. Bye.
All right. See you, Nubs.
Cool. Yeah. Well, he knew a lot of what was going on, too. That was great. And also, I'm glad to find out that apparently I got it wrong, and now I can go forward and I know a little bit more. See, that's how it works. You get some new information and you adjust. You don't just ignore it or live on the headlines, because I find a lot of people do that too.
Yeah.
Like, if I see one more Facebook post of like someone posting just the headline of something, and it's like, where's the rest of this article? How can I read this and like check in on what if clickbait's a real problem out there. Do we have any other calls? No. Sorry, I'm just reading something here. Anyways, yeah, what do you got going on coming up soon? You got any videos coming up there soon on your end?
Yeah, well, I mean, I usually post about 3 times a week over on my channel. A couple of times, most of the time, I'm posting clips from shows, which I've posted some Skeptic Haven clips before whenever we've had good calls here. Don't mind Wall. Yeah. So tomorrow I've got a video with Jimmy Snow that's going up, and we're tackling this person that seems to think that women get paid way more than men at a certain point, and which is kind of interesting. We do a lot of like real-time fact checking on that one, and then Wednesday, I'm not sure which one I'm probably going to put up. I did a bunch of clips with Paul and Jimmy, so I think I might do a Paul one on Wednesday. And then I've got a video that I recorded that's about the apologist David Wood, and it's I doubt that it's going to do great or awesome, but it was something that I really needed to talk about, because David Wood literally admitted on live stream to committing 2 acts of felony rape against a child. Apologia.
Yeah. Is there any other of consequence?
Yeah. So, and the Christian response to his admittance of that was pretty disgusting too. It's a good example of how the Christians in general will just by default work to apologize and hide, or at least run a protection game for the child predators in their group. And so it becomes a look at that, but also
Oh, looks like.
moral system, like as
Sorry,
far as
you
laid
cut
out in the
there for a
Bible.
sec there, John.
Doesn't actually, it has no moral, I guess it does not consider it immoral to have sex with a child of the ages that David raped, to rape a child. It doesn't say you can't rape a child or that it's bad to rape a child. It's only bad to have premarital sex, and that's pretty much the only prohibition in that particular respect. So the only thing that absolves David, or that David has to be absolved of, is having premarital sex. So
that's crazy. Well, we'll look forward to those. In the meantime, we got another caller. We've got Katrina, she, her, from Illinois, atheist, anti-theist. Being the only atheist in her family, she appreciates these call-in shows. Sweet, Katrina, how you doing?
Hi, I'm doing so well. Thank you so much for taking my call. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm super happy that shows like these ones exist for you. What do you get the most out of it? Like, what helps you the most, being able to tune in and listen to calls and people like us talk?
Well, it's just nice to know that I'm not alone, because I come from a family of religious people. And
Which religion does your family follow?
Christianity.
Oh boy. So with the holidays and Christmas coming up, then do things get pretty awkward for you around the house?
For sure.
I'm sorry?
For sure. It's the worst.
Okay. You're cutting out a little bit there. It's hard to hear you. I don't know if you're moving your phone around or.
Just a moment. I'm trying to mute my TV so that. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, it's the worst around the holidays. Can you hear me okay?
You sound great.
Yep.
Thank you.
Good. Okay. Yeah, and funeral. We had a funeral. Well, I just feel so out of place whenever the holidays and funerals and stuff roll around, because, you know, as atheists, what do we do? What do we say?
Yeah. Does your family know that you're an atheist?
Yeah. Oh, yes. I'm pretty outspoken. I am like anti-theist.
Right. Do they engage with you on the topic, or is it pretty just like everyone just leaves it alone when there's gatherings and stuff?
Well, there have been times when a couple have, like my brother and my mom, have engaged, but after a little bit of back and forth, they, don't have any answers for why they believe what they believe.
So you're able to shut them down with some of your own points. Is that what you're saying? Are you mic dropping on your own family?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah. Well, it's fantastic as long as it's pretty lighthearted. I'm not advocating or I'm not trying to. I hope I'm not digging too personally here as well, but I would hate to hear that if you got ousted or if a family broke up over opinions on this. But
no, they love me and I love them. It's just, this virus, this religion virus is just pervading our family, but there's no wrenching it out of them. It's in there, and I just don't get it, because it skipped over me. It skipped over me. I got to reading that book, and it's like, this is so obviously wacko. Like, why am I the only one that thinks this?
What gets filed under like your list of things wacko in that book? What's filed under number 1?
Oh my goodness. The start of it, Genesis. People were not. I mean, women didn't come from a man's rib. We weren't made out of the dirt, and it's just. And any loving father wouldn't have stuck a poison tree in the middle of a garden and said, "Hey, don't touch that, or else, all kinds of stuff is gonna happen." It's ridiculous. The whole thing, from the start to the ending, is just implausible.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to hear a theist say to you, "Well, you guys believe that you came from nothing," and it's like, have you read Genesis?
From monkey.
Like,
Came from dirt.
do you got anything you want to add here, John?
Well, yeah, I mean, at the holidays, like challenging family members and engaging in those discussions can be quite difficult at times. So, yeah, I don't envy anybody that's looking to, I guess engage in that. I think that I know I typically try to, I guess employ more of a street epistemological view, like trying to softly challenge them while getting them to critically think about their positions and everything. I think that that has the better chance if you're really looking to reach them. And so, like asking them questions, asking them to sort of, explain why their position is different than this other religious person's position and that kind of stuff. So I typically will take that route with like family members so that I don't have to, so that I don't potentially, I guess, endanger might be the best way to put it. Endanger like any kind of relationship that I might hope to cultivate with them and everything. So, yeah, that's how I typically go about it. And I mean, I honestly, whenever I engage, I try to, I guess, engage them where they are. So like if they're talking about, morality or something like that, I'll try to bring up some kind of moral statement, or moral concept from the Bible. If they want to try to act like you've got to be religious or you got to be Christian or something like that in order to be a moral person or something along those lines, I'll bring up very uncomfortable, facts that are in the Bible that they don't want to admit is in the Bible. And a lot of times they don't want to continue talking after that for some reason.
Yeah, I've had that happen. It's just that when I try to do the diplomatic stuff, the street epistemology stuff, but in the back of my mind, I always have, there's just this thought like, this is so ridiculous. Come on. It's like, why do you, and that kind of ruins everything for me. And so I'm not good at the diplomacy and the street epistemology because I just have that. It's like, why don't you think how I think? And I know that's bad. It's bad. But I can't.
Yeah, I've experienced myself even recently where like, you're trying to engage in just an honest discussion about it. And, religion and politics, they're tough topics. Like, that's why they say you shouldn't even have these discussions outside of your own family because, you could offend somebody you don't even know who's just listening in earshot. What I find interesting, though, is that it's the exact same thing that, like, John points out, too, is I'll get one really, really good point in, and suddenly I've been removed from the chat or like something, like just straight kicked. The other day I was watching a YouTube video, it was a live stream, and they were debating that Catholics were wrong. So there was Christian YouTube streaming and trying to debunk Catholicism. And so of course I was very interested. I was raised Catholic, so I was like, oh, this could be funny. And I just happened to mention that I'm still waiting for, to be convinced that even Jesus existed. And they lost their shit just from the comment. in the chat, the people
Right.
on the live stream just lost it. And they were like, we're not even going to entertain this kind of nonsense here. This is just blatant stupidity. And they were like, please ban that guy. Get him kicked out of here. I was like, all I said was I wasn't convinced that there was a Jesus. And I got just nuked.
Yeah. No, I mean they'll definitely react that way to it, especially if you talk about Jesus not being born on December 25th, or if you even try to suggest that Jesus wasn't born at all, like in the traditional way, like they would definitely lose their shit.
You're
I thought that was
absolutely
common
right.
knowledge, though.
I can
What?
hear you.
I thought it was common knowledge that Jesus wasn't born on the 25th of December. Like that wasn't something that anybody disputed or even cared.
Listen, stop trying to take Christ out of Christmas, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the response that you'll get. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I talked about that with a close family member, and they were like, of course he was born on Christmas, because they asked me if I celebrated Christmas. And they were like, how can you celebrate Christmas if you're an atheist? I was like, well, Christmas doesn't really have anything to do with Jesus. That's not his birthday. And they were like, shocked.
Oh, I bet you they had problems.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the holiday season is for everybody. It's not a Christian thing. It's I see it as we're ending another year. It's the last week of December of whatever that year is. It's a good time to just get together, have some food, maybe exchange some gifts, especially with people. Some of us don't see each other as much as we'd like to, right?
That's right. That's the only reason I celebrate it. For
and
my
who
kids.
doesn't like some time off from work?
Yeah, I definitely like. I definitely want some time off from work. I fucking hate work.
Well, for me, since I'm a tax preparer, so work doesn't really start for me until after the holidays. So.
Oh, okay.
February 1st hits and you get to work, huh?
That's right.
All right.
Well, I appreciate you guys for taking my call, because I watch a lot of the skeptic and atheist shows, but they don't want atheists to call in. And, it's nice to watch and listen, but it's also nice to be able to call in. So I thank you guys.
I appreciate the call. And, just so you know, like some of those other shows, they're great shows and stuff. And the only reason they prioritize Christians and things of that nature are because those are the topics that those channels want to engage with. And we're a little bit more closer and smaller here. So, any call is welcome, especially if it saves me from my aimless ramblings and just tackling John with questions endlessly.
You guys are awesome. But yeah, it's entertaining to watch the back and forth, the debates and stuff. And, usually people in our lives are not that ballsy. they won't engage with us, so
yeah, a lot of people, they definitely don't want to engage in those topics. I know in my family, there's a general, like, when I did talk to them, there's a general rule of you just don't talk about like religion. And so, they really don't like talking about that topic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
my puppy's being a big sucker. All right, Katrina, thanks so much for your call, and call again anytime if you got a topic or you want to talk about, or you got a story you want to share. By all means. All right.
Well, will do. All right. Thanks for taking my call. You guys have a great rest of your night.
You too. Have a good
night. All right. You too.
All right.
Bye. You know what? She brings up an excellent topic, and you know what? I'm going to be the next caller. How's that, John? You ready?
Okay.
So, I have a younger brother, and I haven't seen him for years, like probably a decade. Never saw the kid. He very much just like distanced himself from the entire family. And suddenly, he starts calling, texting, and wants to make visits and stuff. And I find out that, well, his girlfriend is pregnant. So like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna be an uncle and all this stuff. So it was a very exciting time. The shocker, though, and the thing I did not expect, was myself and pretty much my entire family have all pretty much just sat up and went, you know what, this religion stuff is bullshit. Like, so, I'm the lucky one where my atheism, I don't live it alone. All my family, we used to go to church all the time together. They all just kind of went, you know what, Justin, I don't think this God stuff's real. So I have my family who I engage with all the time, a brother who's far removed, and now he's starting to come around again. And he invites us all to go for dinner. He's like, everybody come for dinner. And when the food came, he asked everybody to stop so they could pray. I have never known my brother to be religious. And now, not only does he pray with every meal, when he visits, he asks my mom to go with them to church. He's taking his girlfriend, who doesn't speak a lick of French, to a French Catholic church where she's not even going to understand the sermon anyways. And like, it's so strange and a little bit infuriating because now I have a nephew. He's a year old. His name is Freddie. And all I keep imagining is like, when I got the text message, for example, of his baptism and all of that, I was just like, oh man, I just started getting flashbacks of my life. It's, yeah, I don't know. I felt like I had a family that was religious free. And then now it turns out it's not any longer. But what can I do, right? I can't engage the topic with them because it'll just blow up into a fight. I guarantee you.
Right. Well, I mean, see, that's why I think the street epistemology is like is a good tactic to use, primarily, in my opinion, because it can get you, sort of it can allow you to get past some of that defensiveness by coming off as, like you're questioning things like, oh, well, I don't understand this. Can you help me understand better? And, it can allow them to sort of drop their defenses a little bit. And it allows you to ask the pertinent questions and get them to critically think about their position for a second. And I'm not suggesting that you have to go and do this or anything like that. I'm just saying that, like, whenever I'm in that kind of situation and I want to talk to them about it, I would say that using that kind of method would probably be the best bet that you have for actually engaging in that.
Yeah, right now my attitude is just I'm not going to put the first engagement forward. We'll just see what happens. I can just say that, like, finding out that the poor kid is already circumcised, I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sakes, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's just annoying to me. And he was always someone I would have told you he was probably one of the smartest people I knew. Like, and just this, I don't know. It's like, it's not really him. This is weird version of him that I've never seen before, where they're bowing their heads and praying before they eat and stuff. And like, and then I see my poor mom, trying to like mitigate any potential hazards, where like, I had them over to my place for dinner, and I got up to go to the kitchen to get the food to serve. And I found out after my mom told my brother and his girlfriend, like, yo, if you were going to pray, now's the time. and they're like, oh, okay. And apparently they did it like away from me. And I was just so like, my poor mom, who's like, just wants her two boys in the same room together. She's doing her best. But
yeah,
she's a good sport to going with them to a church. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure a lot of our viewers and our chat, and even you've been to church before, right? And it's
I mean, yeah, I have.
yeah, and it's not the world's most exciting outing. Like it never really was. I mean, I've seen some of these big Baptist church or like rock concerts, but I suppose those could be fairly entertaining. But if you want to talk about the most boring sermons you could ever go to a French Catholic church. Man, good luck. Good luck staying awake. Bring a coloring book. But, yeah. Color can't get through, David. Okay. I guess we got someone who's trying to get going, but they can't quite get in. So we'll give them a chance to see if they figure out what's going on. Can you ask the chat here? Did you try the URL? Yeah. So if you're trying to call, and if the number 984-400-5656 isn't working for you, there is a link in the description, I believe, and you can just actually. It might even be pinned at the top. It is pinned at the top of the chat where you can just click the little where it says www.callinstudio. Just click on that link. And if all goes well, the call screener will take care of you. They're lovely people. And then they'll give me your info and we'll get you in here to have a conversation. On that note, John, do you still have religious family members too?
Yeah. I mean, I'm in North Alabama, so obviously religious family members are going to kind of be a thing. I usually, like, around the holidays, I used to do a lot with family, but I guess maybe it might just be my age or whatnot, but I really don't go around family too much anymore. So, I mean, whenever I am around religious family, I typically don't, just like you, I'm not the first to engage, but if they start talking about it, I don't hold back, in that it's not like I try to get out of the conversation. I don't have the conversation. I still have the conversation. I have it as respectfully as possible, but a lot of people know at this point that, don't start that conversation with John, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't see my religious family all that often, but I still have plenty of religious family out there.
Is it just a distance thing, or is it just because like it's just easier to just stay arm's length away? Or
I mean, I think that it's there's definitely other factors, but I think that it's mostly just like, growing older, becoming distant from family, and things of that nature. It definitely wasn't because like they are religious and I don't want to be around them or anything. It was
Right.
there were other factors that kind of worked into that, but it definitely wasn't like religion wasn't a primary factor in that situation.
No, we let Catherine go. At least we said goodbye to her. I don't know if she's still on the line. Okay, so then let me ask you then, because this is something that's kind of curious to me. If you found yourself at a dinner table, and let's assume that like it's not family, it's just like you made a new friend and you had no idea about their religious background, and they invited you over for dinner. And let's say there was half a dozen people there for dinner, and they all reached out to hold hands and pray. What is John doing in that moment?
I mean, if they reach out for me to pray, I mean, I won't turn them down, but I also don't pray. Like, I don't bow my head, close my eyes, or anything like that. But I try to be as respectful as possible without actually giving in to like participating in the delusion. And so, I try, like I said, I try not to be rude, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the way I would handle it too. But it's still just, I don't know, warms me up a little bit. It's just kind of like, but yeah. I mean, if it's a stranger, if it's a bunch of strangers at the table, then it's definitely just best practice to just keep it to yourself.
Yep.
Are we going to be getting this other call through, or I don't know. But this has still been a pretty interesting conversation, especially coming up on the holiday season, right? Because, I mean, Christmas, it is a religiously themed holiday. I mean, we all celebrate it to our own degree, our own ways. But a lot of us are going to be heading out to go and spend time with our families. And for those of us who aren't on the religious side of things, it can definitely get a little bit weird when everybody wants to pack up the car to go to a midnight mass or something. And you're just like, yeah, I'll just stay here if that's okay. I don't know. Like Catholics is like, as Catholics, that's what we did, midnight mass. That's not something that like Christians normally do they?
Well, no, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, I was a former, or I am a former Catholic. I never did midnight mass.
no?
I guess I wasn't into it. I wasn't into the religion like that when I was Catholic. But it's definitely not something that other like denominations do. So I can't really speak to that. At least not the denominations that I did.
It was a very strange time. We would go to basically it was Christmas Eve, and the whole family gets together, we have dinner, and then they put all us kids to sleep. They put us to bed, and then they would wake us up at like 10:30 at night to take us to the church for an 11 p.m. service, and then we would come home at midnight, and we would open up our gifts. It's after midnight, It's Christmas Day, just open up the gifts. As the big family, right? Like the immediate family, we still had our own tree at home with gifts underneath, but it'd be 2 or 3 in the morning, and then they would expect us to go back to bed. That wasn't happening. That was their mistake. That was their mistake. So I'm not sure if there's another call. I see we're trying to figure out to get someone else in here, or if we should just call this a show and button it up. I don't know if someone backstage here wants to guide me on the right decision here, but try calling without 6-7. Oh, someone's trying to call. The only person who will see the number of the call screen. Oh, they're trying to call in using *67. And it just occurred to me the whole meme of 6-7. Yeah, okay.
I thought that's what it was referencing.
No, I think they're trying to call in so that their number is blocked, but I guess Call In Studio doesn't block that. Have you heard of this? Completely off topic, out of left field, but let's explore the 6-7 meme thing for a sec, just for a minute. I've been playing this video game called Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Are you familiar with it?
I haven't played it. I have heard good things about it.
It's amazing. Except this number 67 keeps popping up in all of the chat and text of the game because they're the 33rd expedition. There's been 100 expeditions, so there's been 67 other expeditions. So they talk about it all the time. So just constantly 6-7, 6-7. I have never been so alert about the numbers 6 and 7 than I have been in this day and time with that stupid meme. I don't know, it's weird. But I've been watching these little YouTube shorts too of like teachers losing their shit over the 6-7 meme and stuff.
Oh yeah. So that Expedition 33, is that so what kind of game is that? Is that like a first person sort of exploration game, or?
It's a turn-based RPG with a little bit of like Demon Souls difficulty added to it.
Oh, okay.
So just think of any Final Fantasy turn-based RPG you've ever played, and then add a very complex parry and block and dodge system the way like Elden Ring would have.
Huh. Okay.
So in other words, you die a lot. That's basically what I'm saying. It's your Final Fantasy style combat, but you die a lot. And the story is unreal, and I believe I have never heard voice acting on the quality that I've heard in this title. And the animations are also really, really good. Like, there's something that happens in acting where one character or one actor gives the lines, but the person they're talking to also has to react to the other actor, right? So, like, right now, as I talk, John is nodding his head, right? So we're not acting, but if this was a skit, that would be John reacting. In video games, you don't see that, right? A character might have a lot of emotion on their face and stuff while they're giving a line in a video game, but usually the other characters in the scene are just like taking the line. In this game, they've got the characters emoting and reacting to every piece of dialogue that another character gives. Like there's a lot of eye rolls and looking to the left and like little head bends all over the place. It's really well done.
Okay.
Anyways, bottom line is I'll end that rant with the story of this game is absolutely stellar. It'll have you crying in the first like 20 minutes and then again a few hours later. Like it's heavy duty.
Interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, and it's on Game Pass, but
Okay.
it's still only a $60 game. They're not even charging $80. It would be totally worth it, by the way. And the video game awards are this Thursday, and I expect them to clean house.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
Yeah. So there you go. Not sponsored by Claire Expedition 33, but I've given you my wealth of video game knowledge for what you should be playing. Landing the plane. All right. So so John, thanks so much for coming out here. We got to do some Patreon call outs here, if I can get those up on the screen, and we'll take this puppy home. All right, here we go. So from Patreon, thank you so much for Paul Cammish, Karen Butcher, Logan Fisher, Amanda McLeod, Rion, D. Murphy, Dan D., Michael Wiseman, Sunny Shell, Phil Calderone. So thank you. These are our Patreons, and they're the ones that keep this thing going, because you know what? It's not just John and I coming on here and hitting play. The real work takes place backstage, right? Like the call-in studios, setting up the production. John and I actually have the easiest job. We just show up and look good. That's all we do.
I don't know about the looking good part for me, but I at least show up, I guess.
John, I think you look fantastic. I've complimented your toque. Someone in the chat complimented your beanie. So you're killing it in 2 countries right now, bud. All right. So do we want to take Robin's call? She won't be long. I don't know. Yes, I always want to take a call from Robin. It's the won't be long is what? Like 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes? But man, I do love Robin. That's tempting. Let's give her a minute, because I think she had a good nugget she said in the chat of a topic to bring up. And are you familiar with Robin?
Yeah.
You know who we're talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Robin Webster. She supports all of us. She's like on all of our channels. Robin's ready. Yeah, let's take the call. Absolutely. If no one in the chat knows who Robin Webster is, you're about to find out, and you're going to see why you always take Robin's call. Hey, Robin, are you there yet?
I'm here, Justin. How are you?
Oh, I'm better now that you're here, Robin. What's going on?
I wanted to call in. I don't know if anybody, maybe not everybody knows about it, but Thursday night, Andrew Seidel is going to be speaking in Nashville. So I'm going to get to go meet him and get my book signed. And he's a attorney. He was with Freedom from Religion Foundation. He's now with Americans United. And he wrote The Founding Myth and The Crusade books. And so if anybody's around the Nashville area, check that out and see if you can come by there Thursday night. That would be great.
Cool. That sounds fun.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm definitely nowhere near the Nashville area, but
I know, Justin. I hate that.
But I'm also still really, 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 really new in my reading books of certain people's phases. So I purchased all of David Fitzgerald's books, and I'm just about finished the first one, Nailed.
Okay.
Yeah, so that will
Nailed's a good
technically,
one.
yeah, that will technically be.
Well-
Well, that's where all of the, the stuff about Josephus and everything was kind of got me looking into that stuff, right? So, yeah.
Well,
so-
Andrew writes about he fights for separation of church and state.
okay.
So he wrote Founding Myth: Why Christian Nationalism is Un-American, which is just a total debunk of the Christian nationalist narrative that they tell. And then the Crusade, how the Supreme Court is weaponizing religious freedom, is a book about all the cases that the conservative court has incorrectly ruled on. So
Yeah,
He's
I've got both of his books. They're really good.
I know, I do too. I can't wait to get them signed. Yeah, Casey told me a while ago that y'all weren't gonna be able to make it, but so
Yeah, I hate that we're not going to be able to make it, but yeah, like I said, it sounds like a really good show or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna pull up to this book signing in your milk truck, Robin?
Well, Justin, I had a stroke. I'm not driving the milk truck anymore.
Oh no, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a little while. Yeah, I'm actually waiting on disability. So I'll be pulling up to the handicap parking spot and hoping I can make it in the building. It said on there, though, it's at a church. I cannot remember the church, but they said it was handicap. Everything was, approved for handicap and everything. So.
Oh wow, yeah. I'm sorry, I had no idea. No, yeah, we haven't spoken for a while, but I've seen you around in the chats.
I know, I haven't talked to you in a long time.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, Robin, and I was glad to hold off hitting the stop button and to get a chance to talk to you. So you guys heard it here from Robin. Go check out.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody. And if you don't have a copy of the book, then go there and get one with a signature. I'm sure they'll be there for sale.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some good books.
All right. Well,
thank y'all for taking my call.
No problem,
anytime,
Robin.
All right. So from myself, John, Godless Engineer, and Robin Webster. What? You got any final words there, John?
Typically it's just, stand up, use your voice. We need more and more people to be standing up and using their voice. So definitely do that. I've got content going out on my channel, all the time. So come on over there to Godless Engineer here on YouTube, and you'll be able to find some great content there. And other than that, I don't really have anything.
Awesome. Yeah. Same for me. I'm over at This Just In, and you should go over and check out the video that John and I did, where with another group of panelists as well, where we read this fun little nugget, Paws Off My Cannons. It is a kid's book. We went through it, and let me tell you, wow. So you'll have to just go check out the video, and I've got other videos coming out on more of these kids' books. So over on This Just In, and also come back next Sunday because, I'll be there again. I'll be here again next Sunday with AJ from Ways to Human, my favorite person to learn how to human from. So be here. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching.
This is Skeptic Haven. Let's talk.
That was rough. I'm not happy with myself.